In 1987, they changed their name as their legend grew and grew. When promoters don't spring door backup dancers, you know what you get? Extra prep. The creation of an iconic dance known as the kick step. He's a writer, a producer, a comedian, and his conversation with Bill Maher were always incredibly insightful. Speaking of Maher, this gentleman is responsible for the theme music on Real Time, which I think is quite delightful. Whether it was lighting up the big screen in the aforementioned House Party class act and a bevy of others, or wowing us on stage with his stand-up comedy, he's an absolute legend. It's not only what he did, it's what he's doing in the now. Have I given away who he is? God forbid. They know him as Kid, from Staten Island to Madrid. Anytime you attended his concerts, you felt right at home and wanted to stay. That's what he brought to the table as one half of the legendary duo Kid and Play. He brings the masses together regardless of the color, race, or creed. Tonight, guys and gals, he's looking to take the lead. His progress will never impede. He's a legendary, talented human being indeed. So put your hands together now, for a kind, honest, intelligent human being. First name Christopher, last name Reid. Welcome to round 2 of the celebrity tournament, my good friend.
Wow. Yo, I know you get tired of hearing this, man, but yeah. Avi's introductions are legendary.
Man, hey. 15 grand, 5-day trip to Greece. 135 Hall of Famers and award winners want this prize. You're in round 2, seeking to go to round 3. Are you here to win it all, my friend?
Oh, no question. But guess what? One of the great things about what it is that you've created, Avi, is you bringing people together that probably would have never come in contact with one another. But you bring people together. That's your gift.
Thank you.
We love that.
He planned to become a lawyer, studying criminal justice at the University of Delaware. He definitely wasn't a square. He wouldn't despair, as he had a flair for life and wouldn't take heed nor scare. Because he was on a journey here, there, and everywhere. He'd even manage a talent named Pierre, but we'll get there. Initially, he thought he'd like to get in the FBI or CIA. That last semester of college, guys and gals and pals, he had to take poli-sci 405 and 406, Wednesday to Friday. Bummer for sure, but in 83 he joined the Marines, and for years later, in 87 he attended the Monster Factory in Jersey. He was only there for a month, and soon his name would be on the marquee, as his few characters, guys and gals, were carefree, but his mind had layers of depth to the umpth degree. He cut his teeth in Memphis, and next would be Vancouver, a promotion run by Al Tom Coe. In Portland, he did commentary and wrestling as his repertoire would continue to grow, eventually resonating with the angst-ridden youth, like Sebastian Bach of Skid Row, living for the day rather than tomorrow. In WCW, he won the light heavyweight championship before working for the WWF, where he would manage to produce, guys and gals, national TV for them. In ECW, would hear his voice loud and clear. It spoke volumes like a liberated banshee. He innovated, and helped revolutionize a culture that was screaming for truth. His promos and in-ring work always the best, like a Yankee named Babe Ruth. ECW champion, WCW US champion, tag team champion, NWA heavyweight champion, and the hardcore title? How about winning it a record 39 times? He's a true Renaissance man, which I hope was expressed in these very rhymes. So I hope to put a smile on his face as he's entertained us all. Heck, I'll settle for a grin from a man whose class personified, humble, intelligent, and kind. Please welcome the one and only Ray Vin. Welcome to round 2, my friend.
How you doing? I didn't catch all that. Could you repeat it?
Yes, no, yes. 15 grand, 5-day trip to Greece. Those are cool. Those are nice. Which would you prefer? You're going to get them both if you win the whole tournament. Is the Greece thing more appealing? Is the money thing more appealing?
No, I don't want to go to Greece. I'll take the cash.
The cash, 15 grand. There you go. Absolutely.
I'll take the cash.
Maybe we're evading the inevitable because we don't want to be our parents, but eventually we're going to have to go, our time was better. We romanticize that a bit because we experienced it, and our ego tells us that there's nothing else that can surpass that, right? There's something to that.
But growing up, with the 70s, as a child in the 70s, I think it was the perfect age. The perfect time of life to grow up in, and to we're a part of the future, the futuristic today.
Sure.
But we also have ties to the past, but not too far back where we're too old now to enjoy the futuristic aspects of society. And although I'm still waiting for flying cars.
He was drafted number 1 by the Portland Trail Blazers in 2007, and Rip City was truly in heaven. Regardless of the breaks and aches, this man's championship story is about perseverance, as he never gave up, like a mid-70s Rocky or an early 80s Howard Stern who became the number 1 disc jockey. He had a presence like Ernie Johnson, who grew up in Milwaukee. He now coaches the game, and it isn't about the fame or the acclaim. He remains the same. He reminds us to cheer up when life gets tough and to lift our chin. A loss yesterday might be tomorrow's win, and much to no one's chagrin, this moment is always a good time to begin. Even when all seems lost, like a suplex turned into an Andre the Giant pin, this tournament, the man is here to win, so embrace your grin as I welcome a talented, humble, and kind human being. First name Greg, last name Oden. Welcome to round 2 of the tournament, my friend.
Avi, appreciate you having me, man. This is awesome. Your introductions are great, man. Thank you.
You are awesome, my friend. And again, you give it back to the youth. That's what it's all about. Is it more gratifying to help the youth of today than receiving any personal accolade or accomplishment?
Well, for me it is, because I don't have that many personal accolades. So, being able to help and pass down any knowledge I can to the younger generation to be better than me, that's what I feel special.
He reminds us that in this game of life, we're all dealing in the same game, just different levels. Dealing with the same hell, just like different devils. So if you want to win like him, work hard, because ball games ain't won with the word easy. So welcome a Hall of Fame human being. Best friend and big brother. Last name Ray, first name Stevie. Welcome, Stevie, to the celebrity tournament. Judging this night, how are you, my friend?
I am very, very good. I appreciate the intro. Bro, brother, I love it. You know what I was about to do.
I knew that, my friend. I knew that, man. Hey, man, it's always great. Listen, we talk almost every day. We cut it up a lot during the week. 7 years of a strong friendship. I got a question for you. It'll lead to something. I consider you a big brother. I consider you one of my best friends. Would you concur? Do you feel the same way?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you accept the fact, if that's the case, that A, I call you a scholar, and B, that you don't have to be a teacher in order to educate people?
Yes, I agree. You don't have to be a teacher to educate people. But when you get in that position, I think when you get put in that position, you must do it. That's your calling in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right about that. And Stevie, we've done a lot here right now with TKN. 1 year in already, a lot of people thought we couldn't get this done. They were preaching, they were telling me behind the scenes, those suits and ties, you know who they are from the studios. They were saying, hey man, get controversial. I said, no, we're gonna have conversation over controversy. And now all of a sudden they want to be my best friends. Now all of a sudden they're saying, you can win with a show like this. You can get picked up and greenlit with a show like this that's positive, that's a sport of the mind, that dubs everything edutainment. We do it the way we do. We stay positive throughout. And at the end of the day, man, we might be able to make a difference, right?
Avi, we proved we could do this. We did it together, brother. You
Yes, sir.
remember?
Yes, sir.
We did it on stage live together.
Yes, we did.
Well, most people don't know about that.
That's true.
So you already had the template, brother. But you took it to the stratosphere. That I commend you for.
Guys and gals and pals, this scenario right now for Raven, Christopher Kid Reid, and for Greg Oden is very hypothetical but very fun. You have to draft a team of historical figures from the past in order to save our future. If you could save the planet by drafting 3 deceased historical figures, 1 for each game, who would you draft to play chess, Scrabble, and Clue, and why would you draft them? Whenever you're ready to go, the floor is yours, good sir.
I'd like to answer this question by stating that any aliens that want to take over our planet and are using Clue, the game Clue, as a measuring stick, we should probably be able to defeat them militarily. I guess I would have the cast of Clue, the movie, be my Clue team, because they would entertain the aliens and hopefully get them to laugh and into submission that way. I'd pick Gary Kasparov for chess, even though he's still alive, but I may have to kill him just so that we could use him, because he's the best chess player on the planet. Even the number 2 guy, Magnus Carlsen.
So you're killing him and bringing him back.
Yeah, because you said he had to be dead. So yeah. And then for Scrabble, I'd have to kill this guy too. Nigel, what's his name? Nigel Richards from New Zealand won a record 5 the World Scrabble Championship, 5 titles between 2007 and 2019, and he's the most successful player in world champion history for chess. So yeah. So I mean for not for chess, for Scrabble. My bad. So yeah. So I'd pick those 2 people, Kasparov and Nigel Richards, and and then I would pick the clue. I guess I'd have to kill the class from clue too.
So with chess, I think I would go with Magnus Carlsen. I'm thinking the young man at 36 years old. I know I look all of 55. For Scramble, I am going to go with, I don't know if you guys remember the black girl. Her name was Vala Avant-Garde, the girl who plays basketball and juggles. I think she won in 2016 or 2017. I think she's committed to UConn to play basketball as well. But for me, getting a young lady who can play basketball, juggle at the same time, and remember how to spell every word in the freaking world. If we're playing Scramble to save the world, I trust that woman. And also a young black woman. You know, I got me a black mama, so I need one of them to help save the world. I would throw her in there for the clue as well, because the black woman gonna figure something out. But I think for clue, I mean, honestly, Avi said it in his monologue, and I was thinking Sherlock Holmes, but I know they had to be historical figures. Sherlock Holmes, Veronica Mars are historical figures to me and my 36-year-old, and the Robert Downey Jr. one too. But honestly, I started looking into some of the greatest detectives, and ironically, and I am trying to be funny, but I'm not. There is a detective. His name is J.J. Arms.
And he has no arms.
He has no arms.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
But he does private detective for $1 million now after becoming one of the best detectives. And I just think a guy, you know, who loses a part of them and then looking to figure out clues without being able to use that sense of touch, has to look into so many other realms of figuring things out.
This is my guy for chess. Chess is like really, really smarty kind of thing. And I'm going way back in the cut. And I was hip to it when I was growing up, but I got re-hip to it recently. And I'm gonna go back to Sir Isaac Newton. He discovered the law of gravity. Then they asked him, hey, how do the planets go around? And he's like, let me get back to you. That the planets don't revolve in a circle. They revolve in ellipses. It'd be a good chess player. The chess is like easy money. I went to a really great high school in New York. It was called the Bronx High School of Science. The English literature teacher, he would give everybody a book. It's like, this is the book I think you should read. This is the book that I think defines you. This is the book you need to check. And this is a white dude. And he gave me a book. It was called The Confessions of Nat Turner. Nat Turner was a slave. He had a 4-day revolution. He killed a bunch of white people. They caught him. They hung him. To me, he's good for clue. How could a black man master that? So he's my clue guy. My Scrabble guy just recently passed away, Jimmy. And the reason why I love him, and he would be great at anything, chess, Scrabble, clue, whatever, because he was love. As a post-president, Jimmy Carter building houses. Jimmy Carter other countries would call him to say, countries in the Mideast, countries in Africa, they would say, Jimmy Carter, please come here and make sure that our elections are safe. So without going on too long, you know what I'm saying? I know you guys got something to say, but those are the people that they come quickly to mind.
I want to bring Stevie on screen.
I got a rebuttal.
Oh yes, Raven, please.
My only rebuttal is on the Isaac Newton, who's undoubtedly a super genius, like Wile E. Coyote, on the same level. The thing is chess is. I started playing chess recently. I started trying to take lessons, and like in 6 to 8 months ago, I started taking lessons, and it's something that, you know, like obviously I'm a really smart guy. I'm a member of Mensa. It is. I feel like an idiot playing half the time because there's stuff you don't see. Isaac Newton, no matter how great a genius he was, if he didn't play chess regularly, he wouldn't have been any good at it.
But this teacher gave me this book and said, yeah, man, you need to read this because this is the vibe that you're on. And it stayed with me till then. And then, then you learn about it after the fact, whatever, like that. And like I said, I was like, do I need to bring that up here? Is this the kind of vibe or like that? But guess what? That's what's great about your show.
Oh, thank you.
We can discuss things and we can disagree. We can disagree about it or have different opinions about it. But I'm telling you, none of y'all thought that we would be talking about Nat Turner today.
Oh, I did.
And we are. We did not.
I actually saw it on Raven's Scrabble board. So.
Yes.
Did not.
I had Nat Turner for 7
letters. And guess what? As an older person, these are the discussions that I want to have.
Thank you.
Teach me something, show me something, and then we can talk about it, right?
There's a situation in chess that's known wonderfully by the pungent word Zugzwang in German, and that means a player cannot make a move without worsening his or her fate. There's no solution that can eradicate that problem. Meaning there's no way for you to win in that situation. The player can keep resisting. You're saying
it's the Kobayashi Maru.
It's a Kobayashi Maru because the player can keep resisting, or they can accept the futility of the situation and just resign. And here's why I want to link that to Jimmy Carter. He could have accepted the futility of his decision and resigned, because in 1976, there was no trust in government. Forget about, the two-party system. People didn't trust having a one-party system because 5 presidents could not figure out Vietnam.
Sometimes you're the right man at the right time. He's from Plains, Georgia.
Plains, Georgia, peanut
He
farmers.
was from the Navy. He did everything. You know what I mean? And guess what? He was one and done. That's how much.
But he was set up to fail because he wasn't part of the good old boys club. Richard Nixon was anointed by Prescott Bush to be a politician at age 19. So I'm agreeing with you because I'm agreeing. He wasn't part of the club.
And guess what? If you remember at that time, if I'm not correct me if I'm wrong. That's when we had troubles with oil. We couldn't get gas. We couldn't, you know what I mean? So he took the hit for all of that.
For sure. No, and he was set up to fail because nobody wanted to negotiate with him during the Iran hostage crisis. Nobody wanted to talk to him.
That's because Reagan had already set up a deal.
That's right, but he went under him. He set Jimmy Carter for failure because he was naive, because the man wasn't anointed. The man wasn't part of the good old boy. He wasn't skull and bones. Let's just put it that way. He wasn't skull and bones.
He was from Plains, Georgia. He wasn't part of the you know what I mean? He wasn't big time.
I want you to always feel free to speak your heart, my friend, and your mind. You guys are educating everybody.
You got me all emotional today. This is crazy, man.
You guys are awesome.
I'm not gonna apologize for bringing it up, but this is the first time we've encountered each other face to face. And that movie, like I told you earlier, the first House Party movie, not the second two, but the first one, resonated with my community, as you well know. Like no other movie before that time, 1990 and back. There were a lot of
sneaking around, trying to have a party.
No, just the brilliance of the writing. You got to realize
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
a few years older than you. So I grew up in the black
Yeah.
exploitation time. You see what I'm saying? And when you started to see the black exploitation movies start to end, and those actors that came out of that era, and you started to see them in the more regular movies, and you go, wow, this dude a hell of an actor, or this actress is a hell of a, because in those days you saw them as what Hollywood made them look like.
Yeah.
So you were there when your father passed away.
I was.
Okay. I was too.
That's something that's going to live with us forever. That's something that's going to live with us forever.
Let
Absolutely.
me tell you something.
You know what he told me, kid? He said to me, I've never seen your show. Stevie knows the story because I don't have internet. My dad doesn't want internet, doesn't want to be bothered. I still talk about him in the present sense still, but he didn't have internet before. He never wanted internet before, but he told me in the hospital bed, he said to me, if you do the show tonight, if you go to Jersey, because we've never missed a show, 230 consecutive episodes. He said, if you do the show tonight, I'm going to watch it. It was the show David Justice was on. And
It's my man.
he died the next day, and my mom said he watched it for the first time and said, that's my son. And that means something, that means something.
Let me tell you something. I was so, you never want to lose, your father. My father died before COVID. And I was glad. I was glad that he did. Because I could I could be with him the whole way. And when he was fading, he couldn't even talk. All he would do was go like this. Just kept pointing up. So that's a special moment.
Thank you, man. No, thank you for acknowledging that.
Yo, this show is crazy. This show takes you crazy places.
I appreciate that.
The first house party movie, even though they did 3 house party movies, you only can remember the first one.
And you remembered the authenticity of it.
Yes, because the guys that produced the first one told a story about what teenagers go through in African American communities. The other 2 movies, I don't think was written or directed or anything by the guys that did the first movie, because they brought in all kind of different. It was more about college. The second movie more about the college experience, and everybody doesn't go to college. If you see what I'm saying.
What I love that you said here, because I don't want to forget the African American experience.
Right.
I could tell you right now that the white kids who watched that film were grateful for it. The ones I grew up with in the melting pot of New York, because it resonated with them. And if they were clueless, watching House Party brought them together. It's our second and final topic. I will kick it off first to Mr. Greg Oden. Greg, what question can't you seem to find the answer to, but wouldn't have it any other way? Whenever you'd like to go, the floor is yours, good sir.
Well, my question would be, what's life's meaning? And honestly, I came down to that ending that once you answer that question, what else is there left to live? So that is apparently a question that you don't want to answer. But also, adding that one part, it wouldn't do without, I guess. How to find happiness is another one, because can't nobody answer that question for you but you. No matter what, all 4 or 5 of us right here on this podcast right now, the circumstance of me being where I'm at, circumstance Mr. Reid being where he's at, Mr. Reid's history, every little circumstance is going to affect that question and what makes me happy. And none of them know any of that.
I have to give a backstory first. My dad wasn't a very loving father. Couldn't say I love you. He was really funny, but it was all insult humor, like Don Rickles, who became my favorite comedian. But all his material was directed at me, so it gave me a sense of a lack of self-worth, because even though I knew he loved me and he didn't mean it, you know, your brain's not wired that way when you're a little kid. So even though you know it on the surface, you don't know it deep down. And so I never knew. So he never told me he loved me until I wrote him a letter when I was like 27, and he wrote back and said he loved me, but he still couldn't say it. But even more, but I know he did. But I don't know, and I'm glad. I think I'm glad I know I don't know the answer. Is did he like me? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, you know, I think he did, but I don't know, and I'd like to not know, because if I did know and it was not the outcome I wanted, that would be devastating. So, yeah, to answer a question I always wanted to know. I know it's a little heavy, but the other one was so lighthearted that you know, I went with and it was the first thing that popped in my head anyway. So that's that.
Christopher, what question can't you seem to find the answer to and wouldn't have it any other way?
What happens next when we're gone? What happens next? I'd like to know, but I don't say it's going to be this, it's going to be that, but I don't know. What happens next? If one of y'all got the answer, let me know. Because I'd like to know.
You know, I'd like to just say that similar question, and I always find it just too big a question to answer, but they say the universe is finite, like there's an end to it. So if there's an end to it, then what's on the other side? It's so unknowable. You know, you can, you know, we could be totally
come back as a crab.
You come back as you don't get to. Here's the thing: is what if heaven isn't really heaven? What if heaven, where we think we're going to go to our reward, is really hell? Let's say this is the best part, and we're going to some shit land after this.
This is heaven.
Raymond, did you have a nice time tonight?
Absolutely, I had a great time. I had a great time.
Big fan, brother.
Happy New Year's, guys. I understand the laws, you guys. This is such an honor, Ozzy. Thank you again.
Thank you, my friend. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you. Hey, Greg, I just want to tell you real quick. I lived in Portland for 2 years.
What? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I was downtown in 2 hours here.
I'll get your number from Avi, and I'll give you a call if you want. We can talk
Please
about
do.
it. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
My friend, did you have a nice time today?
Man, let me tell you something. Every time that we've interacted, Avi,
Yeah.
it's been a positive experience. And guess what? A lot of times you don't know what's going on in people's lives at that particular time. But I'll tell you this, from my perspective, you always right on time. Like this today, right on time. It's what I needed. To be around people that I respect, that are intelligent, that are sharing intelligent ideas, and you running the show, you right on time, boy.